What a beautiful song here this evening. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning. If you are in Liberia, to whatever you are, we say welcome. This is LPR-TV Live with the Analysts. In tonight's editions of the Wednesday editions of the Liberia Public Radio, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening with us here this evening. As usual, the Analysts will be here, and of course, we're going to have a guest. There are other news in the community and what we need to know. On this backdrop, we say good evening and welcome to the show, Mr. Manford Young. Good evening. Fasi Ali Cromant, good evening to welcome. Thank you so much for your commitment, for sharing your evening with us right here on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. This is the first time, of course. I know a lot of names familiar here. But for those that are joining, whatever you are, we say thank you for sharing your evenings as usual. This is all things considered right here to airing with the analysts, and we will be having the conversation here of news making headlines in our community and on the national front. So our guests, our analysts still going to be here with us very shortly. Yesterday, we were all glued to television watching the debate, people eating cats and pets and all of that crap. But it will speak for itself. Joe, good to have you here. Good evening. Welcome to the show just right on time as we are about to, get the program rolling. I am Alfonso Zian, sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. This is the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio, and of course, we are here to have a national conversation. So just bear with all. And we will be having a conversation here to try to get things going here. Of course, here come my good friend, my new supporter, Fatu Sharif. You see the house. Fatu went to switch support recently, so I'm good. I'm happy. She's now with us. She joined me. Esther, Dr. Jones, the independent voices of this network. Good to have you. Good evening. Hope you had a very good day. So let's have a conversation here. My guest is backstage. I'm going to be breaking in yet, and of course, the analyst is going to be joining us here. What is in the making? What do we need to know? And what now he will reach, and we'll get a conversation. This is All Things Considered right here on LPR. Welcome to the show. Okay. There you have it. Good evening, good evening. This is your host, presenter. I am Alfonso Zioso. In tonight's editions of All Things Considered, here come my man, Prosper Terry. Good evening, welcome. Thank you for your commitment to this network. Well, folks, the analyst is going to be here, but in the meantime, we want to take it from the community front. And of course, the chairpersons of the Liberian community of the Ocean State of Rhode Island is here. The chairman of the board of directors, for that matter, is here, and we will be having a conversation. And as soon as he joins the conversation, we're going to get this going. Just bear with me here, please. We will get the conversation going, and the rest of the analysts. Jerry, check your lane. I'll send that to you. Let me see. If you don't get it, I can send that back. I can send it back. Just bear with me a little bit. Let me just respond to something here quick. But Jerry, I did send, but let me just do it again since because you want to start trouble already. You liberals, this is how they behave. After he acknowledged, and then he said, I'm going to send. So I'm sending it back again. Check your. I think the liberal is telling him to try to serve as a sort of distraction here this evening. But I check your email. The video link is there. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Now. Okay. Yeah. You'll be back. That's okay for you. The good thing I know you on my side now, so that is great. Okay, folks. Welcome to this edition. Today is Wednesday, and there are some major community news we want to start off, which also a mix of big news. As we told you recently, the president of the Republic of Liberia is expected here in our own ocean state of Rhode Island. What is it all about? What is in the story that we need to know? You need to know, regardless of you being outside of Rhode Island. It's important that you also know. I want to know. I'm eager to know. Well, the chairman of the Liberian community, that's Bakari, right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. The chairman is here, and we're going to dive right into this program. Mr. Chairman, so if you, let me just bring in the chairman, and here you see him that in his nice African suit, beautifully dressed, and hard-working guy. Okay, Chairman Nathan, good to have you. Welcome on LPR. Let me bring in one of the Boishians on this network, Jerry Bacom Boishi. Is a strong supporter of the President of the Republic of Liberia. He's been doing the thing a long time. So let's have you. Okay, is yet Mr. Bacont is our analyst. Good evening. Good to have you.
Good to be back.
Why you try to start a trouble? I send you the link and then you say you didn't get it. So are you trying to picture me to be the bad guy?
Oh, no.
You liberals, that's how you guys like to start trouble.
See, can I please greet the audience, please, before you start suffocating me?
Go ahead.
All right. Good to be back. Good to be back.
Go ahead.
How are you? See you. How you doing? Welcome to the studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Chairman, good to have you here. It's been a little while, but notwithstanding, we always meet here and there. But a lot is happening in the community, and we are all eager to know because we are hearing the Liberian community is in the vanguard. What is in it for us? You let the cat out of the bag, and we will get right down to the wire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, thank you for allowing us the space to actually come and talk. We've been collaborating with the government of Liberia with the GMB movement in the background, and fortunately, we'll have the president here in our state by the end of this month. We have the full itinerary. Unfortunately, we can't divulge it now, but we have the opportunity for the president to actually meet Rhode Islanders on October 2nd. We have the flyers. We're going to be distributing the flyers pretty soon. We'll submit that to you as well for your publication. We have an opportunity to have an honoring ceremony for our Senator Reid as well, the third highest ranking member in the United States Senate. The president will have the opportunity to do that as well. And so we're looking forward for Liberia across the board to come, our foreign partners, our guests, well wishers and sympathizers to come and actually meet the president during that visit.
Meet the president. Meet the president is a huge war. And we let's try and break it down into pieces because I'm anxious, I'm excited to meet the president. What is that meeting is all about, Mr. Chairman?
So during that meeting, of course, that we of course every time the president comes in, he reveals himself. I'm sorry, from the time he was a candidate to the president-elect and now president-elect. And so meet would mean in a gathering. He will be meeting with us, the Liberians and folks in the entire northeastern region, of course, or maybe people from as far as they can come at the Providence Career Technical Academy. We're going to have the program starts at 6 p.m. He has the opportunity. The president is going to brief us on the state of affairs of Liberia. He's going to have a time to speak. We're going to have a variety of speakers there. We're going to have our state, as I mentioned before here, our strength is our size, but it's also our weakness. As long as the president touches ground here, we're going to afford him the opportunity to meet state, local, and federal officials as well. So he will be there having a panel with state and local as well as federal officials. He's going to present. He's going to honor Senator Reid. He's going to honor Representative Grace Diaz, and he's going to give us the state of the affairs of the Republic of Liberia.
Does that include interaction with the president's Liberians, right? Whether they voted for or against, would that be that, or that sort of single bureaucracy will be created where only few selected will be able to raise their hand, like of Jared Washington? Is that how it's going to be, or will he be saying, as the president of the Republic of Liberia, what I fought against people who have that interaction? So I'm trying to figure out how it's going to really look like.
So the format is strict. We will have other folks there. The president would brief us on what's going to happen. The movers and shakers of this event are still working in the background to see how to actually lay it out. But like I mentioned before, as it stands currently, tentatively, the president will be speaking and honoring. We have guests from across the political spectrum here in our state who will also be giving remarks. Now, with questions and answers, I think that's where you're leading to. If we have the time and the opportunity presents itself, we will obviously consider that. But for now, we're kind of working out the kinks and the nuance of the program. And for now, it's not included in that part of the program so far.
Is it possible that can be injected into the program? Because I have questions and many other people have questions. A lot is playing out in the country, and he is the right person coming here, then we must feel at ease. We do not want to be in the positions of being apprehensive again that the president came and then I asked my question, she didn't ask a question. Who then going to answer those questions? Is that something that the community will be considering and talking to the White Eye folks here? That the president considers it?
We will consider that, sir. We will consider that, of course. But for now, the structure of the program, it is what it is, and we can work and do it. So when the president currently was vice president at the time, he came a couple of years ago, we had a different format. And that's factoring in where we had people write their questions and it was randomly picked. We're going to have over 300 or 400 people in the room. There's no way to afford 300 or 400 people the opportunity to ask questions, right? So we're going to probably, if that happens to be the case, we'll probably limit to like between 5 to 7 questions where people will be picked randomly and people would ask those questions. And those questions will be asked by the moderator or someone.
Moderator, who is moderating that?
Oh, we haven't gotten to that point yet, sir. When we get there, we will finalize that and we'll make it public.
Could be a possible choice? Jared Bachman, what do you think?
The chairman is here. He's speaking on the issue. That's the reason.
What are you answer? Yes. What are you afraid of? What is the question you're
What are you afraid of? You see, you're bombastic, man. Why would do this? Why would you want to wash our dirty laundry in the street tonight when we'll have a guest here? Please. He is saying when the time provides itself, it will be included. So that's enough. Why else do you want me to add or subtract?
You want to recommend me? I'm asking in this public manner, so you recommend.
Sure, I'll recommend you. Okay, I'll recommend you. That's what you want. I'll recommend you.
Okay,
so since we're all things considered, we're factoring into the planning as well.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Another seasoned politicians on the other side. Yeah, on a serious note, I think it's good, and I know when then candidate at the time he came, I was saying here, I wish I could. But now he's president, more or less he's the chief executive of the country making decisions. What does the community has in your backyard in terms of something you two want to hear or want to know what is going on? Do you observe, you see what is happening in the country? Depending who you talk to, the conversation will always in different forms and shape. But you as a community leadership, you've been in this thing for a very, very long time. And we thank you for your services and all what you are doing. But what are you hoping to get from the president? He's no longer a candidate. He's a chief administrator now of the country. So perhaps things you didn't hear before now, or there were answers he never provided before. Now he could be able to tell some answers. What are you looking for? What is the community looking up to?
So let me restate. The Liberian Community Association is a 501c3 organization, non-political, non-religious organization. We have the fiduciary duties within the territorial confines of the state of Rhode Island to present and provide a platform to our folks here in Rhode Island, and also people as well. So what we look forward to is people coming to engage the president. That's what we look forward to. There's nothing specific because, again, as an organization, we're a non-political organization. We can't be specific, right? But we provide the platform for other Liberians to come and actually see and talk to the president. And whatever their burning issues are, they can voice those issues. On our front, where we look forward to, and again, it kind of presents itself to the gowning ceremony. All things considered, again, that Senator Reid will be gowned and honored by him. There's a big deal because Senator Reid has been in the vanguard of our immigration fight for at least the last 2 or 3 decades, right? So we're looking forward to that opportunity to actually do so. So that's what we look forward to. Whatever else the other folks have to bring to the table, their gripes, their concerns, their recommendations or suggestions will be presented by the Liberian people.
Okay, so all right, we'll wait and see. We don't know how the protocol looks like, but for now we can say LPR will be in the house to bring those live happenings, and I hope my friend and brother Jerry Bachman, even though we do not agree on a lot of stuff, but those conversations are always held in the civil context. I have, and many other Liberians have burning issues. He's the father of the land, so when he comes, we got to get all the best out of it. Gerald Washington, Bacon. Welcome. Let's welcome Dr. Jones Octavius Mallet, who is one of the independent mind on this network, unlike Jerry and the liberal progressive, Sissy, Goya, and those folks. Dr. Jones, good evening.
How are you, sir? And hi to His Honorable. I think this is a surprise package. I think we are heading in some right direction now.
As always.
The chairman always here when there's a need, so audience kind of like puts in for that.
Yeah.
But so, I still try to figure out here. I know the community is, like you said, is non-political 501c3, but it does have a social wing that addresses social issues and other pertinent issues in the country. You making investment, I am making investment. We all have things at stake. There is other side of the coin that we can talk as a people and as a nation. So this is where I am going here because at the end of the day, I want to know, many other people want to know what is in it. Yes, Senator Ray is our giant in this community, not just one of the community, they like Bronco. He's being out there. Okay, Ghana ceremony, great, perfect. But the president will be coming. I want to see it. What besides the Ghana ceremony, are there other plans where exclusively Liberians will have the opportunity to interact with the president? Because the Ghana is an official ceremony, and I know it will be a crowded event, and he's a president. But are there plans, or is the community working in that direction for the president to make a provision to meet his people and just listen and hear what people get to say and how they feel about the country, seeing his ascendancy as president in the last few months? Is that something you would consider?
Again, I hate to be a little cliche, but all things considered, again, that's something we will factor into it. Our planning purpose, along with the government Liberia and the GMB movement, is to ensure that he comes in and actually meet the Liberians. The schedule is extremely tight. There's a very tight window. We're trying as much as possible to push as many things through as possible to make him available to stakeholders here in our ocean state, as well as Liberians and well-wishers and sympathizers. So if the schedule permits, we will try to do as much as we can. We can guarantee, because there's a lot of protocol involved in it, even as much as we push and try with the planning purpose, as we're doing. But again, it comes down to the protocol, how the protocol will all kind of look eventually when the dust settles. So that's what we're going to do for now.
Let's see whether we can get something from the Bellwether, the inner wall of President Joseph Newman Boycott. And that's Mr. Gerald Bacon, who is one of the inner cycle. Mr. Bacon, I'm just curious, wondering here, because folks sending text and all, will we have, because somebody want to come as far as New Hampshire. I don't know what kind of question he or she coming with. Do you think such a provision can be made, maybe after that, for the president to find time before departing? I don't know how long he's going to stay. I really don't want to know. Those are security matters. But do you think coming here, those is once in a while? Once in a while, in the sense that sometimes they are just kind of short visit. Is that something the Friends movement of White Card will be pushing? Hey, you're not the father of the land. The elections are over. Who voted for, who voted against? You are the ones that are driving this rescue train. Everybody wants to get on board. What do you think?
Well, we want everybody to be on board. We're not discriminating against anybody. We just want everybody to be successful of the president coming. But like the chairman said, we are still working on some of the modality and see how it works. It's the protocol. And the person who calling from all the way from New Hampshire, we say welcome. There will be a lot of seating in the house, so all these things are working out. If it work out, he will meet with people in the community. These are community stakeholders in our community. So these, I think, are still working out with the Liberian government to give us some latitude to work with. So we are making some of the recommendations. Your concern will be addressed as you articulated to the Liberian government and see if they can give us that opportunity.
Okay, let's welcome our man analyst, Mr. Collins. Dr. Jones is in the hall. Gentlemen, we can all scramble over this here. And the president is coming. Now, quickly, before I go to Dr. Jones and insight Terry into this conversation here, is he coming with a specific message as well to the Liberian pool as far as you are concerned? Anything, Mr. Bacon?
This is the base. Whenever he traveled all over the states, and when he was candidate, when he was vice president, he always come. Rhode Island is special to him. I'm not saying the other states are not too much for him, but this is the base. So he coming here, and we are not discussing what will be the special message, but he purposely, the chairman has said he wanted to meet with Mr. Jack Reed, who is the chairman for Intelligence Defense in the Senate or United States. So I think we want to kill two birds with one stone. Since he's going to be coming to do such a program, and we want to incorporate some of the activities. So we are working on it.
Okay. All right.
The Liberian community. So he's the chairman. So we are working with him, or he working with us, and because he's the chairman of we are the movement in the state, but he's the chairperson for the Rhode Island. So definitely, he got more latitude to speak on that.
He's trying to take a backseat. He's pushing you into the lion's den. He tries to walk a fine line, and that's what he does every night on this program. But you are here. We're trying to get the best out of it. But yes, beyond that, other colleagues just joined here. I think it's a good thing. When a leader come, a certain committee, they should be able to have an asset and tell the people, and not just have a leader. By the time the leader is here, or few people meet, at least this is a public awareness. Those who have a chance, who will want to take the time off, they can do it now. Let somebody just come on ceremoniously. By the time you go over here, and next thing they bite going, he's coming now. We know we're going to make a provision here. So, is there any special message coming with, Mr. Bacon? Just throw that right back to you. Is there any special besides that? Is it coming? Is there anything? What are you hearing from the inside of wanting Liberians to be there? Yes, the president coming, Liberia have to show, he's our president, we're going to give that support. But do you know, is there any special message he's coming with as well?
So as far as we know, the president will be addressing their arrest plan and how they've moved within the last 6 months or so, or a little over plus or minus, and how the trajectory they're on, the progress they've made, and a few other things that the challenges they are encountering. So those things he would address in the state of affairs with the Liberian people. Again, we're going to factor in that the latter portion of our conversation was to see if he can have questions and answers, but those would be limited, and there will be a format that we can address those questions with. And so those are things that we look forward to. We hope that he would bring it and talk about it. He would have other folks here with him as well on his emissary. Those folks, even the president cannot address it particularly or individually, will be probably punted to those people who would meet with certain amount of people as well to address those issues. And they are stakeholders, so they can answer the questions directly.
Okay, let me bring my colleagues into this conversation. Terry is one of the supporters of President Boyka, but a moderate guy, and so sometimes he's critical and then a pushing a guy, Jared, and pushing aside, but notwithstanding, he's fine in his position. And Dr. Jones, one the independent guy here, and that's how it works. So, Terry, let me just start with you. You will be your guest. You are the one. I don't know that you guys work this thing out behind the scene. I don't know, but what it means, hearing that the president want to be here, you're going to be meeting the Liberians right on top of your head. Why you think? Why your guess? Why you would be hoping to hearing from the president when he meets his people?
Yeah, I want to appreciate Mr. Nangbe, even though I don't know him. And again, I was not behind the scene. I think it's Mr. Bacon. But yes, we welcome the old man, whom I would say, because this is Liberia and in America and all of that. But I hope to hear from him. Because the last time he was here, he talked about the involvement of the diaspora having a take in the economy of Liberia. So I think coming back, those questions will want to be asked again as regarding where are we on that footing. So, what what it is, because in my opinion, right, I believe that the only way Liberia will change, like today, I listened to the former president of Liberia, Madam Sirleaf, and she struck a very good point. We are the one Liberia is waiting for. We are the one Liberia is waiting for. We have this sense of dependency, that, oh yeah, once you become president, everybody chunk all the day on you. Everything, you the one supposed to turn the country upside down and build skyscraper overnight. But we forget about ourselves. We neglect the fact that we are the ones Liberia waiting for, especially we who are in the diaspora. My thing is, we are slow, even though we blame our president. Our presidents will not do anything if we don't start to put the effort ourselves. So we have to make that contribution. I will expect him to only provide the space for us, to provide the opportunity and say, come and invest. Provide the security for us. Provide the pathway. Provide the relationship, the opportunity, the handshake, extend the handshake to us. I will be hoping to hear from him in that regard. All right. But yeah, I will be hoping to hear from the president as to what are some of the mechanism, or what are some of the strategy, or what is his plan in regards to opening the opportunity for Liberian in the diaspora to come back home and take the lead. Because I believe God has brought us here for a purpose, and it is only us in the diaspora that Liberia is waiting for.
And very subjective. This is how these politicians, this is how they do. Only, it must be without him, nobody else. Dr. Jones, this is, Mr. Chairman, this is what we fight against every day on this network. You saw him, he was very vehement in his way. Only him. Not me, not Dr. Jones, because perhaps we are not one of him. Dr. Jones.
Yeah, first of all, I want to welcome Comrade Latro. I think this was a surprise visit. The CEO did not even tell any of us, but anyway.
Yeah, I was surprised.
We are always ready to welcome anybody.
I want to make all the trusted people. People rely on us. Not like Gary back on and you. And
yeah. But anyway, I think
he didn't want you to come with the predetermined mind, so you can be open-minded. That's why.
Yes. Well, I think His Excellency, despite our fundamental political differences with him on so many other issues, but this item agenda, traveling to America to meet his movement, and the movement decided to work in conjunction with other auxiliary organizations on the ground, I think it's a laudable idea. Now, one. Two, I'm not more concerned about the visit. I'm concerned about the message in the visit. And I think this time around, since His Excellency and his team during the campaign, they ran on the basis of change. And I'm very sure people who welcoming him are already infested with a spirit of change, so that they have that common goal to move in the interest of Liberia. So this time around, I will have a few suggestions. All in all, it's a good idea. And my suggestion here is, instead of we asking the president what message he has for us this time, what do we have to present to him that will help the people in Liberia? Yes, because he's coming with a mindset. People want job. People want this. People want the other one here. So this time, if this movement, in conjunction with the Liberian Community Association, can surprise him and say, look, we have perused all the problem in Liberia. We have, as a group, in conjunction with your movement, decided to help children that are affected with AIDS in Liberia. We'll lobby around our senators, our representatives in America, to see what area we can help with to help these children or the drug addiction. Something you found to challenge the president. Say, look, we're not interested about our job. We are better off here. Change the narrative this time around. We are better off here. We want to be now in the position of helping our government, helping our people through our government. This is our stand tonight. Trust me, I think the president will find more space for more discussion, and it will be very, very interesting, you see. So this is because if the president come, yes, we expect him to brief all. We all know the story by whom, but he's the father of the nation. He got a final saying. He said, "Oh yes, people carry a whole lot of story. Now we get to business. Now you have come, but this is our presentation to you."
Okay.
Unlike other visit, there have been packages going to the president, and Mr. Latro, you'd be surprised. The packages are filled with applications and applications and applications. You see. So this time around, I would be so happy if things can take that trajectory, this time around. And I think it would be a plus for the GMB movement and the Liberian Community Association. Yeah.
You want to respond, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah. Let me just say, so to Mr. Brother Collins's point about investing in our country and being in the forefront of it. I think we can't take a backseat to anything that happens in Liberia first and foremost. We have to be. It's just an obvious indication of if we want progress in our country, that we have to step forward and be upfront about it. And I think that's the right message. I think we need to do it. I think every Liberian in the diaspora needs to invest, whether time, effort, or resources in our country to develop it. Now, there's a flip side to it that Brother Jones just talked about as well. Us using the John Kennedy method of ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That's the method he's just expressed. And that philosophy, it runs deep. And I hope that people listening to us and just people that we talk to on a daily basis can adopt that philosophy. Because if we do, our country progress. We can't sit here and fill the hall just to present applications to the president for jobs. And what jobs are we taking? What do you do here now? What are we ready? Are we ready for it? We face the same problem on a lower, maybe larger spectrum here as well. We have people who very learned, educated people. Unfortunately, they haven't practicalized anything they've learned, and they use the Liberian Community Association and our government as by an extension as a way of practicing what they've learned, but they have no practical application of what they learned. And so we need to do more. We need to invest more. Back to Brother Collins's point. And do something for our country. We can't just sit back and continue to criticize and support, dissidents, for lack of a better term, not with arms, of course, but people who do and interrupt the official business of government as well. So I think we need to do better. Our job as the Liberian Community Association is to provide that platform. We have stakeholders here and our partners that we sit and talk with the president. These folks have data. They have actual data that they know exactly what the president brings to the table because they look at it all the time. And so these people will be meeting with the president. The president will be able to extend an olive branch to that. But we're hoping there's an extension of this program in the future that we'll probably come back here and talk about. Again, we have to hold the itinerary tight until we can actually get to that point where we can actually release more information. But we're hoping that the president can extend an olive branch to these people to actually invite them back home and actually help our country. I mean, security is a big thing as well. As a practitioner myself, I understand what it takes. In order for the environment to thrive, you have to have security, right? And so once security is afforded the opportunity for people, then we can talk about infrastructure and all these different things we want to talk about. So that's what we bring to the table as a Liberian Community Association.
Okay. Mr. Bacon, I believe you got a great share into this. We want to welcome the chair lady, Madam Fatu. So all of the break call, they are monitoring, they are hearing, who knows, they're going to go back in chambers and you never know, something going to happen. Now, before I go to Mr. Bacon, Chairman Luttrell, is the community, does it have some sort of political wing, something like that? No?
No, we don't. What we do is our community association is strictly a 501c3 non-political, non-governmental organization. What we do is we have the African Leadership Forum that we use as a political pact to support Liberian and other Africans running a vying for offices in our state. We've formed that consortium where we can support each other, because if we don't, again, and I say this all the time everywhere I go, if we don't take a seat at the table, we will be the dessert of the people who sit at the table. So we have to do it. So we have this political action group as a pack that helps foster our goal, our mission, and our vision as Liberians and as Africans in our state. That's what we're part of as well.
Okay, let's have Mr. Bacon. Mr. Bacon, is there any further information you want to share with us?
Yeah, we are working in collaboration with the Liberian community. At the same time, the Baka movement, although I'm the chairman for Rhode Island, we're also the political officer for the Baka in the state of Rhode Island as well as in the United States. So that's what the role is all about. So we work in conjunction with these people. But the Baka movement all would be the political wing of the Baka movement in the United States.
Is that a superpower or what is it?
Super what?
Is that, I know the election is over. I'm wondering because
It doesn't mean because the election is over, so politics still run.
I'm saying because I'm saying that to say what is the objective of this boycott movement? I remember Alice coming up, how they call it, Global Affair, and I had an opportunity to talk to the chair. Then Mr. Pass away. He said, "Yeah, it's a superpower. They raise money, and that's what I'm asking." He said, what is it? What do you guys do? What is it all about? Promotes his agenda, his vision, or I mean, why the movement is still in place?
And it was not just to elect the Excellency Mr. Boakai to be president, but at the same time, the movement is also work with the government in Liberia to make sure we have some investor, those who want to invest into the country, those who want to go to Liberia. We disseminate the information, the way to get in touch with the president in Liberia or the government in Liberia. So there's our responsibility to make sure all these things are coordinated with us and the people that are back home.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
ahead. I don't, for you and the chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how long this marriage been going on between this political movement and a non-political organization. I don't know how long this marriage has been going on, you know. Probably you can give us some little history about this marriage, because it seems to be I'm getting a different tone right now, because you are political and your objective, I'm sure, are not the same objective or that of a non-political organization like the one the chairman is heading. You see, they are more into other things that are not of high political volume of voltage as yours. So my question now is, the marriage started because His Excellency is coming to Rhode Island, or you people have been collaborating behind closed door for many years, a few months? Just give me some live insight of the political and non-political marriage.
Let me speak to that so I can salvage this issue and save Jerry the heartache. So the Liberian Community Association has been in the vanguard for years, since the 70s, right? And all our responsibility is, again, fiduciary responsibility is to Liberians. So every government of Liberia every representative of the government of Liberia, folks who've come here as officials of government, based on their status in government, we provided them the platform to speak to Liberians. So our job is to always, coalesce around the issues of Liberia, to always collaborate when it comes to Liberia. So it's not anything specific to the GMB movement. They happen to be to have their organization now that supported the president and in his endeavor to become president, right? So if we were doing anything right now, it only suits us to have that collaboration with them. We have a collaboration with the government of Liberia as well as the GMB movement. There's certain things we probably can navigate, and we can utilize their expertise or know-how in order to navigate those things to get to a certain point. So that's where we are. So, but again, we're here. We've been in this community forever. We know each other as friends, and we can always have the conversation. So whether the conversation is structured or formal, i.e. with the president coming, or just having a conversation on a normal basis of where we are and feeling the pulse of people in our community, that's what we do. So it's not like we've been, collaborating for forever. But again, it's natural. It happens naturally from the Liberian Association perspective.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I asked a question for two reasons. One,
yes, sir.
The JMB movement is the politically charged movement.
Yes, sir.
It has its own interests. Your organization is a 501c organization.
Yes, sir.
As you just lamented, it's non-political.
Yeah.
And you have a different philosophy.
Yes,
and
sir.
they have a very different philosophy.
Yeah.
So I'm now concerned how their marriage started with such a strange fellows, I mean, I know you've been in the vanguard as an organization, but this time now, a head of state is coming. And I know I've been in a movement before. Their priority is job. Their priority, it's not about softening play, looking for investor, going to, it's about job. We've been there before. For you, your priority is strictly philanthropic.
Well,
all right.
they keep
I'm
you
concerned about this marriage. I don't know. I'm very skeptical right now.
So I think the skepticism is well thought of. Unfortunately, there's no bite to the bone for the skepticism, right? We've extended an olive branch to our former president. It's when CDC was in power. We've entered and dealt with them as well. We've invited folks from the previous government to come here. We provided them an ability to have town hall with our people as well. We've provided when Madam Salif was president, when she had a PRS delegation come to the states, we provide them an opportunity to actually meet. We were able to sit down and actually help them with the entire planning process. So this is not new. Again, there's no bite to this bone. There's nothing here. The nuances of planning it comes almost easy to us now because it's operational. Whether we are nonprofit or not, the ultimate goal and objective here is Liberia, right? We support the Liberian Community Association of Rhode Island, and by extension, Liberia. So if something good is going to happen to Liberia, Rhode Island has always been there. We've been not only the community association, but the people of Rhode Island. Almost everything, if you look at it, just go back a little bit, talk about issues of immigration and everything else started right here in the Ocean State. So we have leverage. Again, as I mentioned previously, our strength is our size, and there's also our weakness. What I mean by that is we are able to leverage the opportunities here to invite our folks here. We can have you meet a senator, a representative, a governor, the Speaker of the House of Reps, like in the drop of a dime. We can orchestrate that in no time whatsoever, and that's what we've been able to do. So again, we have that opportunity. We can do so. We understand our role. We understand our responsibilities. But again, Liberia is primary to us by extension.
Mr. Chairman, let me intrude myself into this here, and then maybe Terry can come in. I don't know why Dr. Jones Terry is not participating. This is not a Terry that I know, or is it because of whatever reason? But I'm just throwing it out there.
Why are you picking on him? Why are you picking on him, man, tonight?
What's the problem? I know Terry is engaging, and Terry
See,
is just
you gotta
calling.
call
Somebody
me.
is asking on the live too. Somebody is asking on the live feed, Terry, what's up? Meaning,
Oh yeah.
Terry,
Oh,
we're not hearing from you. You're not
That's
what's
an
up?
speaking.
assumption. That's an assumption, please. Can you just wait? Let somebody say what's up.
Let me come to my chair to Chairman Latrobe. So I did hear you saying, and which is true, Vermont leaders of the countries they are visited here, which of course, like our community, have been very, very much progressive. Now, these visits, are they paying off? And what specific? Which one of them that listen to you or not listen? And maybe it has come a time like, you know what? We have done everything. This is not working. This is the role we want to take. Are these visits paying off? Are they listening? Are they answering your suggestions, even if it was not said in public, for example?
They pay off. The dividend is huge. The dividend they pay off from the time from Madame Salih's visit to Honorable Boyka's visit as vice president to candidate elect to officials from the CDC government coming and all that. What it is, we've been able to assist in so many different ways, right? When we were chatting the course to talk about immigration issues, we solicited help from the government. And through BRAC channels, they were able to help in different capacity, in different ways to help. When we have other issues that we have to deal with when it comes to that, we leveraged the opportunity with the government in power at the time to be able to help them. And these people would meet us to where we are. They would give us advice. We would channel through EULA and other organizations. What we try to do is to form partnership and collaboration around most of the issues. But again, and unfortunately, sometimes things we do in Liberian Community Association it's kind of difficult to talk about. So if we're having like a Yale report, for example, and take for example, we said we had about 12 families who help with immigration, right, or more, 12 to 15 families with immigration. We helped 3 to 5 or 6 families with youth issues, i.e., incarceration of the youth that's probably in the training schools. We're talking about helping people with jobs, people Liberians who got wrongly fired from their jobs that we step in, or people who lose their license as nurses that we step in for, or people who get incarcerated for whatever reason that we have to go down to the police station and to actually vouch for them and move. Those are things that happen. In order to get that weight as Liberians, we have to get the weight of the government behind us. These are things we discuss in the background with them, right? And we tell them that what we do, and we're hoping that we can get more people to do, not to deviate from the conversation, is to get Liberians to actually show up and vote to increase our political capital in the state. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to increase the political capital. We know we have substantial data in front of us. We know almost every Liberian that's registered or citizen in this state that registers, that votes or don't vote. And that's what we're asking people to do. And so all these conversations we try to leverage in the background to help our people as well.
I will try to do the unusual this evening because I had these conversations behind the scene with the president, but I think I'm going to bring it to the board chairperson now. I think there's a need because if you don't tell people your story, don't expect them to know, and they think you are not doing anything. I know I work with you very forceful to get things going. I think there's a need that we have a Liberian community hour on this network. We are here. It's a privilege, it's an opportunity, and hopefully other community organizations can learn because I know the intervention, most of the intervention. I don't care how the going gets tough and the tough gets going. They get a saying that saying there's no bad bush for a child. And the Liberian community of Raleigh is always there. On the flip side, people complain about the organization, but they themselves are not putting into it to make the organization viable. So it's a two-way street, and we need to be very clear on these things here. And so we will really be happy, even if once a month, the community, they are not a hidden thing because that way people will know. And that way encourage people that are staying back too to say, oh, I just thought because we always in the tendency, everybody eating money. All people that money, even though we don't pay our due, some don't pay, but we accuse people without any facts, which is also is a bad thing. And there are people benefiting or that have benefited at the expense of the organization, even though they never pay dime. which of course I get a problem with because there are some people who don't want to bother anything. If you can't get more people, you get trouble, you get your own trouble. Deal with it. I'm an Israeli. You slap me, I hit you hard. Right? So Bacon knows that. That's why he doesn't like me. But on a serious note, I think that's something that maybe the board, the administration need to consider some of the good things here. And that will help to sort of move the community forward. Beyond that, are there plans for the community or the board of directors to have a closed door meeting with the president? Is that something you're considering?
Yes, let me backtrack. I say yes to that, but let me answer. We appreciate the offer to actually come on board and actually have a Liberian Community Association hour. That's something we've always wanted. We wanted to get involved with all these different communities, all these different people, and spread the message. We have a very peculiar issue as Liberians, right? I just mentioned a few years ago, we had the opportunity to walk around and go door to door and try to meet Liberians in a certain area. Again, like I just spoke previously, we have a map of where Liberians are situated, predominantly in the state. And so we went around, we would do our walk. What we encounter, I've never been myself. Huh?
You know Mr. Bacon address, Jerry?
Oh, of course I know Jerry's address. Of course I know Jerry's address.
If you don't have it, I'd rather text it to you right now.
No.
I can give it to you. I can give it to you on the air.
Yeah, I know. So again, what we encountered on this visit was something that I've never been able to live down since then. And it broke my heart because we went to a home where we met a young Liberian lady in the home. 3 kids. One at that time, the kid's probably maybe 16, 17 now. So the kid was probably about 12 or so that had cancer. Her mom was bedridden and sick. The mom had to go to watch those kids every night as that woman worked her doubles. I'm like, this cannot be real. In our state, someone we probably know, we're very proud people, right? People hate to tell their business to other people and all that. But I think we could do something about those things. We can actually help. And so when it comes to the point where I see our communities, and not even our community in particular, but other communities around the country going down the drain, it pains me because I think that's where the work needs to happen. I think we need to spend more time and effort in helping our people and doing. So again, the Liberian Community Association has always been there. While we didn't cater to that lady at the time, we were able to help in our own weak way. A few days ago, we were able to help with burial for some other people, which of course we have. One case in point, we had a family member who had come from Liberia. We helped with the burial of the dad, and when he came to actually see his dad's grave because they didn't have a headstone, we couldn't find it at the time, and the office was closed. Imagine a Liberian laying here in this part of the state in a grave with not a headstone where his kids can come back or come from home or anywhere in particular and not find that grave. Those are the challenges we face. Those are things we want and we try to push to get those things done. So our conversation with the president, our conversation with our stakeholders, with senators and representatives and other folks in our state are predominantly around that. And that's what we do. We're hoping to use this opportunity with the president, with our senators, our local, state, and federal officials as well to tell them to help us help our people. Right. And not only that, we need to, I think unity plays a long way in it because we're so divided and so, I hate to use the word confused, but for lack of a better term, confused. And we confuse our objectives, our goals, our mission, our vision, and our pride as Liberians in so many different ways that we unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where sometimes we just can't help and we've got to throw our hands up. And I don't think that should be the case. So again, we're going to leverage every opportunity we get to sit in the room with the president or whoever that comes across the state, and we will work diligently to assist our people.
One thing I didn't hear from you, coming back to John 1 second. One thing I believe Terry was going into that place, but apparently he decided to hold by for whatever reason, I don't know. But one thing I didn't hear from your outline in your maybe hopeful plan meeting with the president, Liberians in the diaspora as a great integer to the economic developments of the country. Politicians come here, raise tons of money. People pay a lot of money. I know Jared and all of those people, I never pay. But we do not have a voting right. We have Sierra Leone, we have Ghana people here. And I know the president, he was very passionate uh, during his campaign, like during the diaspora, like Mr. Collins alluded, will be have a greater part in his heart. Now he's in the driving seat. He's driving. He is the chauffeur of his rescue mission. Will you, in any way, try to discuss that as to whether, on his watch, the government will do everything possible to make the diasporan community voices to be heard by participating in the electoral process in Liberia? If they can come here, get them money, and they can win election, why is it our voters can't? Why is it government does not have money to allow these sort of processes here? And I know it's costly, but hey, I think Liberian can even make us ultimate sacrifice and say they divide the country into zone. You in Rhode Island, maybe other people in the East Coast, you can meet to this state. People will definitely go there. How's that?
So that's a great idea. That's a brilliant idea. I think Ghana does it right now on a very decent scale. Our issue is being able to. So I'm not gonna mention the official's name, but around 20, I think it was 2016, 2017, we had a conversation with a government official at the time, who we asked, do you know how many Liberians we had in the diaspora, or maybe the U.S. in general? The dude was a high-ranking foreign official of the Liberian government at the time, and had no idea whatsoever how many Liberians we had. In order to do that, we have to be able to at least have some form of registration, identify how many people we have. Are they of voting age? Are they of this? So there's so many work that can be done. Now I know Uli is also, taking on that mantle to say, oh, this is what we wanted to do, and that's a fight we're willing to support and we're willing to have the conversation with. But I think first thing first, we have to identify how many people we have here, how many people we can do this, the registration, and all those little modalities has to be worked out first, because just bringing it to the table. I haven't spoken with the president. Well, I have met with him in the general audience before in different capacities. However, I understand he's a very objective person when it comes. He wants like the point made to him exactly. So us expressing the point of voter or people being in the diaspora be able to vote, we have to have data to prove exactly what we mean by that, right? So that's something that can be worked on continuously. I think it's a good conversation to start, but I think we need to do our own background, our own work before we can bring such things to the table.
Okay, Dr. Jones.
Yes.
This is unbelievable to see these two guys tonight. They refuse.
I wanted to say something, but
Okay, come. Don't come be a pepper in my mouth. Dr. Jones, like he can't say the thing he wants to say because I've been looking for you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Mr. Nangbe, our name sounds like a cool name, but it's okay. I wanted to know what is your limitation when it comes to how much Liberians you can reach? Is it restricted to Rhode Island only, or do you have the capacity to spread your tentacles into other states and help other Liberians? Do you have the capacity to do that? All right, that's number one. Number two is that I heard you talk more about the United States and less about Liberia. So apparently, from my understanding, you're really advocating to even have chance for Liberians to have the opportunity to go into politics. So apparently, this organization could even become political later on, because you're talking about getting Liberians to be able to vote and all of that. Because I think the only best way you can effect real change in the United States for Liberians, you have to go into politics. You have to become political. You have to get people that will be voted into office and other things. I know there are a lot of organizations in America that have been challenging you. So I want to know, what do you plan on doing if that direction changes? Because in order for you to really effect real change, you have to become political to effect the change you really want to effect in Liberia. And lastly, I want to know what is the how long have you been in existence? All right, because that will inform me as regarding how much difference you can make.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me start with your last question first.
So now we work out.
Mr. Nambi,
Thank you very much.
sir. It's a pleasure again.
Same here.
Yes, sir. So
You want here, what you made of for in Minnesota? You do with your time, you're not going nowhere.
You gotta hear the problem here. That's why I'm trying to hold it, man, on the side. You gotta hear the
let me answer your last question first. So the last question is, Liberian Community Association was formed back in the 1970s. It was a Liberian student union. So it was like comprised of Liberian students that came here that went to school through the college, you know, people like Tom Awayu, Charles Taylor, and so on and so forth, that end up forming with ULA organization and all that. So the formation of our organization has been around since the 1970s, and we've just migrated or evolved, for lack of a better term, evolved to where we are today. Again, we're 501c3. Well. Exactly. We're a 501c3 organization, non-political whatsoever. Now, let me answer your second question about talking about moving in the political area. We don't want to move in the political area. We already established a PAC, a political action group, like I mentioned before. We have the African Alliance Forum that we collaborate with other people. So the Liberian community itself, and you're right, I think you're pinpoint on this and getting Liberians to the polls and actually become in politics. I was fortunate enough to run a campaign of my friend who's a state rep here now, but Nathan Bia. I was his campaign manager at the time. But what we did before then, we had a 3-year plan in order to get Liberians to the polls to vote. So for 3 years, during our Independence Day, we brought what's the name, Russell from Minnesota as one of our guest speakers to talk about public service. We brought Mayor Collins to talk about public service, and we brought another person to talk about public service, all to gander the support for people to think and say, listen, again, if we don't take a seat at the table, we will be the dessert of these people. We were here before most of the folks from our Hispanic counterparts came to this state, and they literally run this state, for lack of a better term. I mean, they literally run this state. They're not, but we have 5 very permanent positions in the state. 2 of them are occupied by Hispanic folks right now. We can do that. We can, as Liberians, we can do it. I had a meeting with the governor's chief of staff last week, and we sat down. He's from Nigeria, and we had a conversation. And we talked about what do we do as Africans, not as Liberians or Ghanaians, or what do we do as Africans? Because when the Hispanic folks coalesce, they coalesce around an issue. Unfortunately, as Africans, we don't know how to do that. Our differences are so deep and personal on so many different levels that we cannot coalesce around issues and move the ball to the next phase. So we met and we talked about it. One of the recommendations out of the meeting was we're going to establish an African Day where we have healthy competition of like jollof rice and all that stuff, but just to exhibit our culture for folks to see. We want to lock down the city at some point so folks can see this is the amount of Africans we have in the state. And this is the political power that we wield and we can bring to the table or bring to bear. If we decide to support one a candidate here, that person wins any election anywhere in the state, right? Liberians make up about 82.6% of Africans in the state of Rhode Island. Liberians. We're over 18,000 plus Liberians here in Rhode Island. We have the numbers, we have the data, we have the addresses, we have all these people listed. Again, our people do not vote. So let's try to get them to vote. It's going to help our political capital long term. And it's going to help us by extension in Liberia, right? So that's what will happen.
But do you think that the information dissemination is poor? Is your information dissemination arm is poor, is not reaching enough to the people? You know, what are you doing in regards to that also? Sorry, Mr. So for interrupting.
Yeah. And you're right. And I'll submit that we do a very poor job with disseminating information. Extremely poor job in doing it. We have to do better across the board. We've opened, a chat room on different, platforms. We have our Liberian Community Association page, but again, we gladly accept the invitation posed from Mr. So. These are programs that we need to come on and enlighten our people, and this is where we are. This is what we're doing. I'm going to speak to your last question while I speak. What our capacity is. What do we want to do? Now, as the Liberian Community Association, we're only confined to the territorial limits of Rhode Island. However, though, we collaborate with all the Liberian Community Association across the diaspora. Our current formation was formed and actually mimicked that of Minnesota, OML. we had the office before 2018 or so. We had the office of the president, vice president, this. We decided to eradicate that because it was causing so much tension, and plus it was not helping us to get to the bottom of where we needed to help our people. We decided to form a true social service organization where we had the board of directors. The original intent was the board of directors would be presidents or representatives for all our political subdivision groups, and they will hire an executive director on a full-time basis, paid with salary anywhere between 80 to hopefully 100,000 based on how many grants they bring in to run the community affairs. That way we have a uniform calendar of events and all those different things. That was the original intent. Unfortunately, we had a few counties that showed up, the other counties didn't show up. So folks at us decided we can't let the association die. And we stepped to the plate and became officials of the association. But the original intent is to have all the counties heads or a representative on the board of directors, where we have a huge convention in the state to showcase that we have Liberians here. And so that's what we want to do. So we cannot do political stuff. Unfortunately, we can help in the background. We can solicit. We can do a bunch of things. We have the governor in our state and our senators and all these different people who call on us when they need our support and our help. And they know we deliver. We've always delivered. We will always deliver. And so we will continue to work with that and hopefully help our people long term.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. J. Victor Namwe, is a contributor here, panelist. Guess what, Mr. Namwe? President Joseph Newman Boyka will be here in Ocean State. That is you know as well. I guess you have a question to ask him, right? Plenty, yeah, bro. So we gotta talk to the folks around the president belt, like Mr. Gerald Bacon and others, to give us that pathway. We don't want no blockade. Yeah, he's the president of all, correct? So we must be able to have access to him to website. Mr. Namwe, good evening. Welcome. I believe you've been following the conversation, and of course, our man Newton Walton Capton, our man contributor, is also joining us from Connecticut.
Thank you very much. And
we are ashamed, but he's not converted to be an independent because they're no longer in power. So he's not changing position.
Thank you very much. So it's good to be here, and my regrets for coming on late, but I'm happy to be here. I listened to my brother here, Nathan. I believe we met with him on the 7th of August, I believe, during the Calcutta program in Rhode Island. And I listened to what he's saying. I'm very, very happy to hear the way he's speaking because currently, for full disclosure, my wife is the current vice president of EULA, and I work directly in her office in charge of diaspora, affairs. And so we're very happy to work with organizations such as the Rhode Island chapter, the Georgia chapter, and the Pennsylvania chapter.
You also right?
I can't tell you the number of times I've been fired, but I'm still here. But just as he's indicating, we have to, Liberians, we have to hold together. I was naming some of the chapters. When you start this, it becomes a slippery slope. So let me go ahead with that. I'll come back to what I'm about to say. So yeah, the Georgia chapter, the Pennsylvania chapter, Ohio, Iowa, chapters that are very active, Arizona. And I hope, my friend, Mr. Latrobe, I hope you bought your ticket because we're having this major program here on the 27th of September here in Atlantic City. This is going to be the weekend of EULA's 50th anniversary. This is a function we are having here, the 50th anniversary. It is also the inauguration of the new administration as well as the annual convention. Those are three different things happening here in Atlantic City. The president, we anticipate he will still come. We've been communicating with the office of President Walker. He had indicated he might come, but we know we have confirmation that the speaker is going to be here to headline the program. The president is going to be in New York attending the GA of the UNGA. And so he has invited us. Our president will be going. Hopefully, after that, he will still find time to come here and meet with Liberians because everywhere Liberians gather, I think it's an opportunity for the president to meet and dialogue with his people. What we're hoping to do, among other things, I think over the past few days, you've all seen The dual citizenship has been in the press. I believe the current legislator 55th is working on some to straighten out some of the kinks that are in the previous dual citizen declaration that kind of put some restrictions in the way of Liberians in the diaspora, and so they're trying to straighten out, take out some of those kinks so that we can freely participate in our country even while we are away from our country. That's what most countries do. And this is good for Liberia because it contributes immensely to the development of the country. We're also, we just had a delegation return from Liberia headed by the Foreign Minister, Stephen Benda, and we're pushing for out-of-country voting. We think we should be able to participate in who governs our country if we're making so much input. I tell you this, as of as far back as 1996, it was estimated that there were over 500,000 Liberians here. Right now, we're working on the numbers. We're trying to update that number. We want to determine exactly how many of us are here. Then we want to determine how many of us are in which profession, how many of us are doctors, how many of us are lawyers, how many of us are teachers, how many of us are engineers. We want to put these groupings together and develop these clusters and probably put out white papers, groupings of Liberians who don't have any interest in working in government, but who are simply just interested in helping out. Put out a white paper on education, put out a white paper on health reform, all of these things that collaborate with the government and help out. As of last year, it's estimated that Liberians sent almost $850 million. That's larger than the entire economy budget of Liberia. So if we're making so much input into our country, it tells us that we still love our country, even though we're far away from it. We want to be a part of what happens. And if we're going to do that, the best way to do that is to be a part of the decision-making process, part of who becomes, a legislator or who becomes a president of Liberia. We think we should have a say in that. So we urge all of you guys to join us. We've talked to the CEO. Hopefully, we'll make an appearance here to bring the entire team here to come and talk about the program. For now, I tell you, the ticket is about $130 to $200. You can come in, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have a cookout on Sunday. A beach party, a boat ride. We'll have a lot going on. So come and join us. Let's have fun.
Okay, let's catch up. Which
Yeah, thank you. And it's nice to see Mr. Nangwe, the two Nangwes in studio. Yeah.
We're taking over the platform. And no liberal is here tonight.
We gotta talk, Mr. Nangwe.
The liberal would never show face on these stuff.
Why would you want to worry with this man tonight, please?
Mr. Nangwe, Mr. Victor Nangwe, we have to talk. We have to exchange notes.
Okay.
Because I'm on the board of Yola and I'm responsible for Liberian affairs. So
Okay.
I know you on the diaspora, so we have to talk. One of the things that my brother Nathan spoke about, and sometimes I find it very difficult when President Weah was in office, and whenever he came to this country, it was about CDC, the base, CDC, base, CDC. And I tell people that, look, once this Tenabera become president legitimate, he's the president of Liberia. He's not the president of CDC. So when he come into this place, at least let us organize ourselves in this place through our national organization, which is Yola, and CDC can come under that umbrella too, so the president can have a bigger audience to talk to instead of talking to party. Because earlier on this show, I heard you and Mr. Boishen, Jerry Bacon was talking about the base, the Unity Party base here, or Joseph Waka base. And it's distasteful because, to be honest with you, some other people who are not part of the Unity Party or was support Waka would not want to even attend that program. But when you put it in, like you said, the Rhode Island chapter of the Liberian Association spearheading this program that welcoming our president, you understand? Then it will have a lot of weight. Then for a Washington to come in, and I'm just giving an advice, for the publicity to go far and wide, is to take that aspect of And the publicity should be that this president is coming to Rhode Island to interact with Liberians and not with his base, because it will also not make other people want to come around there too. We can't excuse the fact that we are deeply involved in politics in our country, and they extend all the way to the United States. And the fact is seen when Mr. Rossa went to the election in Rhode Island. We saw what happened there. So these things is that an honest advice I will put out here. It's a good thing that our president coming to Rhode Island to engage, and one of the outstanding senator, or what I don't know, he's Senator Jack Reeves. He's a councilman, right? I mean, a
He's a
congressman,
senator.
right?
He's a senator. Yeah.
Senator, okay, Jack Reeves, that have been, helping our people, for a long time. My question to you, Nathan, is the Liberian Association in Rhode Island, is it united now? Because a few years ago there was a division. They were not part of Yola. Are you for united now?
So let me state that we are part of EULA now, fully as part of EULA. What I think unity is a relative term, right? I think it depends on who you talk to and what they, whatever the pendulum swings. We as a community have tried as much as possible to, again, bring all our people together. Unfortunately, you're going to have people who will decide what they want to do. This is a free country. People have the right to form or not form as they wish. And those are things that we can't control. What we do control is our ability to work for our people and ensure that we continue to push the agenda of the Liberian Community Association.
Yes. So that's a good thing, because I was president of my community in Connecticut, yeah, and we had this thing. Rhode Island tried to invite us over to honor Jack Reeves, and at the same time, another group were bringing Henry Costa over, and it was whole big, and so that's why I brought that question to you. So I mean, it's a good thing. Hopefully, when the president comes, if we are around and have the time, we will come there and grace the occasion. We have to engage our president, and I heard somebody saying that we should adopt the saying from former president of the United States, John F. Kennedy, to say, ask not what my country can do for me, but what I can do for my country. And it's good that we have that mindset, but we also have to hold those people over there who are so insecure that because we are here, we pose threat to them over there. And it's only good that they understand that a lot of Liberians, they have been exposed to education, the way of the decent way of life, governance, and all that kind of stuff, and we can help our country not only in the government sector but in the private sector. Let it open way for us. And they were running propaganda against the dual citizenship, and unfortunately it went through a little bit. And like Mr. Victor Nangbe said, working on modalities now to get some of those glaciers out of the way that prevent Liberians from heading position in government, elected, and other positions in government. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian, should not be denied of anything. Those are good things that we can start engaging the president on, so they can make way to take politics out of this thing. Liberia need to develop, and who will develop Liberia? Like Ellen Johnson said today, we are the ones. We are the ones. Today are listening to a sitting senator that did not even know there's a law on the book that calls for what they call it I just forget the term name, but yeah, he was trying to bring a business in the country, and as a senator, a mining business in the country,
Let's
so these things we need experts, people from this side. Thank you so much.
Okay, before you respond, Mr. Chairman, I have our man, contributor here, analyst, Dr. George Toto is on the line. The time when we are using your answer or your usual go swear that night,
but I laid the premise. I say I frown at it. Look, I'm a realist. I frown at that. I think Liberia, and that's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. You never saw me over one of those things. One day I don't.
All right, that's an obituary announcement. Let's go to Dr. Toto. Dr. Toto, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Also.
Yeah, I don't know if I mistakenly left my main line, but are you guys hearing me?
Yes,
yeah,
we
very
are.
good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Tutu.
Yeah, Alfonso, thank you. Let me greet the gentlemen in studio, and also our panelists. I just want to make one or two contributions to the show, having listened to the two languages, especially on the issue of migrating diaspora when it comes to the Article 40 and their involvement in the process. And also, when we were in leadership in EULA, during Mother Ellen Johnson's early term, and some of the mechanisms that were put in place, and they were now, this other group were not successful, and that's something that we need to look into and see how best to revisit while we start there. During Mother Ellen Johnson's early term, when I was the chairman for EULA, we collaborated with the World Bank and the IMF in collaboration with the Nigerian Embassy. The World Bank was sponsoring that project. They wanted for us to come with a professional pool of Nigerians in the diaspora. And also that professional pool was to collect data. And that data was actually could be used also to do the total number of Nigerians in the diaspora in terms of voting age. And they were programmed, and they were their sponsor. And they assigned a lady to us at that time from the IMF. Now keep embedded to us how to carry on the process. And we have zero blocks where people like Nigerians should turn on in Minnesota, in Philadelphia, and some other, also in the Midwest, in the Midwest, in the West Coast, also to that Texas and other places. But what happened was that when I success with that program, there was some misinformation that was spread around that EULA were working along with the government to deport people to Liberia. So people were discouraged how to attend the program. People didn't show or in fact, one that in Philadelphia, I went to the one in Philadelphia and they did it for the IMF. The secretary general for EULA at that time, after we had go. We went to Philadelphia, the attendance was very poor. People didn't show what they say. We're working under the government to deport Liberia back to Liberia. So that's the reason why that program was not successful. So just the current EULA leadership is something that they can pick up. And also the chairman from Rhode Island, and they're happy to meet the president. Those are things that can put the floor to discuss with the president how to establish that relationship again with the World Bank. And they didn't want sponsor that project for us, just to add to the discussion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Toto. I believe Mr. Chairman, you want to respond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we can leverage the fact that the current Minister of Finance, Mr. Gaffwan, I think was probably part of government at that time, and still probably understand the nuance of that particular deal with the World Bank. And so I think that's something that we can leverage. So, but again, just to go back to my friend and brother from Connecticut's his point, you're right. Every time we have these, we have to be able to graduate from one stage to the other. And that's what we're doing here at the Liberian Community Association. Now that the president is coming and he's a president current now, the Liberian Community Association or whatever organization he goes has to be the head who's collaborating with the government of Liberia. And then by extension, of course, his supporters here. And that's what we're doing. And so we hope to continue this. We've always done it. And I hope that we can continue this relationship, even though Dr. Mali, Dr. Jones think that we're doing this whole thing and it's all this thing that's happening. But again, brother, under the canopy of heaven, we're free of everything.
Okay, let's back to baseline here before Dr. Jones comes in. There are other people who are listening who are within the proximity of Rhode Island and may wish to attend this ceremony. What do they need to know precisely without? We don't want to have this sort of conversation. And then so we assume we should know that what do they need to know if one wishes to attend this program.
So right after this program, I will be putting out a press release and a flyer to include a flyer of where the program will be held. It's going to be held October 2nd at the Providence Career and Technical Institute. somewhere right up around Cranston Street, but the address, everything will be there. With the dress is business casual or at least African attire. It starts exactly at 6 o'clock. We're going to have, again, an array of local, federal, and officials here from us. We're hoping to have the mayor, a few senators. Of course, Senator Reed is getting honored. We're going to get some representative. We're going to get all these people will be there. And we'll afford them the opportunity. We in Rhode Island have the opportunity. We're fortunate enough to have a Liberian gentleman who also became a state, not only a state rep, but also the actual representative of Rhode Island. We have 2 representatives here per our constitution. I mean, per the whatever we have, and one of them happens to be a Liberian. His mother's Liberian, his father's Ghanaian. And Gabe Amo, who won the election recently, and he serves the state in Washington D.C. He will be highlighting the program as well. We have Senator Reed, Senator Whitehouse. We have the mayor of Providence. And we have all these other officials will be there, and it's going to be a great event to be. So come early. Our program starts exactly at 6 o'clock. We will hope to to have people see there. We have LPR radio. We also invited local radio stations around TV and radio stations around our state to come in. We'll be sending that information to them tomorrow, so they will be there. And so we want to make this occasion as auspicious as possible, where people understand that we're Liberians, and when we do something, we don't do it little. We want to expose our country. We want more investors to come in. We want to show and our country that we know what we're doing, and we're hoping that people can come to invest in our country and provide the platform for the president to expand and express his vision for our country.
Okay, I think that is good. And to Tara's point before Dr. John comes in, indeed, the political aspect of this Liberian community and the other African forum, that is vital. Here comes election, and this is why we are always at the tail of the table, because I can remember during Governor Gino's campaign, I was volunteering, and asked one other friend of my man, if I don't get what to do. Okay, you don't get what to do. It's because people want vote election time, then people take their time to do devil. So even vote before you go. You don't want to. But then we complain that a Hispanic did this, you go welfare did that, you go this way there, because these people, they volunteer, they start from scratch. And politics is all about interest. If you're there for me today, tomorrow, the possibility of me being there for you is likely. So I think that's something the community needs, and maybe some sort of awareness. We can't say, well, okay, well, it's a liberal state, so we assume Democrat going to win it. The idea, be part of the process. Do not, you have all what it takes. You are qualified to vote. You register to vote. So why can't you take that 1 hour, do your vote before even going to work? So hopefully we want that. Dr. Jones.
So let me just expand on that a little bit. We have absentee ballots. That's what we did when I ran the campaign for my brother, and when we went around, what we did, most Liberians, unfortunately, they decided to do doubles, and no harm to that. I mean, that's their right to do so. We have the absentee ballots that we have people fill out, and we actually presented to the Secretary of State office to have it counted. That's the route we go with it. I can report to you proudly that every candidate that we've endorsed in this race over the last 5 years has won their race, from the governor's race to lieutenant governor to the attorney general to the Secretary of State to everyone, to even the local officials. We've supported them. What we did recently, not only are we pushing Africans in position of authority in the state, we were able recently to endorse and hire the governor was able to hire the first African judge in our state that we were part of. What we also did was we had a license, or they called it license for undocumented people. Liberians we were able to produce over 60% of the signatures to have folks in our state, undocumented people, have driver's license in our state. And those are things we're proud of, and we'll continue to do so.
So if I may just chime in quickly before Mr. Wagner, if he's okay with that.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. First, let me thank Dr. Toto. I know he's been the chairman of the board for quite a while, and I know there's a lot they did for the union, and we'll continue to consult with them as we try to improve the union. But on the question of Liberians being, taking interest in what is happening and being a part of the process, you guys are right. You have to show up and show out. But it is also important. Politicians here, the numbers are like candies to them. If you can prove to them that you have the numbers, right, they will always come to you. And this is how most of these other communities are benefiting, the Somalis, the Kenyans, all these communities. They are able to hold together and demonstrate that they have the numbers to move the needle for these politicians in terms of votes. So this is why we're encouraging all of us here, Liberians here. We need to come together and show our numbers. This is how our community will benefit. There are a lot of benefits out there for all of us. I just wanted to throw that in. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Bacon?
Yeah, man. Thank you all guys for coming. All we have to do tonight is to work. Now we got Eula here. We got the Rwanda community. But here's the thing. Tonight is a good night, and my brother come here, can't talk about Tabata. Well, we here with special interest, but I'm not even going to go there, Connecticut people. So, but you know what? I would just invite you. Look, it's a driving distance, and I'm not even going to dignify your comment tonight. So we got two guests here, so I'm not even going to go there tonight. But you know what? Just drive and come and have a good time. We're going to be here. If you got a place to sleep, I got a horse here. You can come and sleep in my house. You got a place to sleep. So just come.
We got one guest.
Wait, is it
Mr.
going to be
is not a
one
guest.
eye open, or you ready?
No, exactly.
So that's the whole thing. But in all what we're doing is in the interest of the Liberia, our country, our birth country. We have professionals here. We all here. We got different skills in life here, and we all we want is the betterment of our country. If we all can do it, like my brother Victor said, $8.some million. That's a lot. They can do a lot in our country, and we are doing extremely well. And
800.
800. Okay, that amount of money. In fact, some of us got 2 or 3 homes. You're supporting your home here in America, and you're also supporting a home in Liberia. So
Exactly.
They are ready to back home. So it's important that we all get together and see the best for our country. And we are privileged to be here. God sent us here for a reason. So I always pray that we all can get together and talk for the betterment of our country.
Okay, Dr. Jones?
Well, I think we are all heading in the right direction. But my question here is that there's this proverbial saying, a horse divided cannot stand. But in the modern world now, a horse divided is even devastating than when it chooses to stand. You realize that EULA have been the epic center for power struggle over the years, and that has stigmatized our identical organizations, and the records speak for themselves. And Mr. Victor just said that he's one of the key officers in his White office, so I don't know, nepotism is now creeping into the
I knew they were going to talk something.
I don't know, but
I just knew you were waiting.
yeah. my question to Chairman Langbe is this: we've got a laundry list of other organizations, Liberia organization in Rhode Island, including county association and other things. And I think we even have the Liberian American community of Rhode Island. So my question to the chairman is that now the president for all Liberians is coming. Have you been able to collaborate to have a united front, not on the basis of philosophy, but the president is coming, we welcome him, and we try to have discussion with him? Have you been able to reach out to county organizations, representations, and other organization representation in Rhode Island, so that we can disabuse the mind of the president that this fragmentation and division, and is actually not around here. And the next thing now is most of the Liberian community association around the United States are being infected with the virus of corruption, lack of transparency and accountability, and these are some of the viruses even affecting Europe for a long time. So how do we sometimes account for these things if we tend to invite an independent mind to participate in such a forum when these stigma are all over the type of association? Now with the Rhode Island Association, the area of division and disunity, and people not being accountable and transparent. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And great question. But let me just say the attention that we pay to, to the call and the quest for accountability and transparency and whatever it is are all brilliant points, right? In order to charge someone with not being transparent or not being accountable or whatever is to be a part of the process. You can't be on the outside and charge someone with not being transparent, right? Until you're a part of the process, that's the only way you can do so. So let's deal with that. I feel it's lip service in most cases. People just throw words around just to to suit the folks who are listening to them, and so that's what it is. I've been around and part of organizations for a very long time, and I understand people will come with all those different things. Again, I'll go back another step, like I mentioned before. There's certain things you control, certain things you can't control, right? What we do control is the fact that we're able to plan and organize this program with our partners and other people. I told you before, our blessing and our lack of blessing or whatever it is the fact that we're a small state and we can get things done in a very rapid fashion. We can pick up the phone and call any state or government official right now that will show up, right? So getting them to come to the table and planning a program is not that difficult. We found out about this program not too long ago, right? Maybe I think about maybe 2 or 3 days ago or something, and we were able to make those things happen, right? So if we can make those things happen, we will push the information out to the public. We will work with our partners and continue to work with them, because you have to understand, you have to position yourself keenly. Now, we are conduits of the program. We don't own the program. What I mean is that while we're structuring it and being heading this particular thing, we don't own the fact that the protocol folks at the government of Liberia, they own this particular program, and it's within their purview to make it structure as they see fit. We will continue to throw our recommendations and suggestions in there, but we don't own the program. We're only conduits of the program. So when it comes to other people being invited, we will invite our partners, all the different local, state officials, whatever they can bring to the table. And to be honest and be frank with you, what we're trying to do is we're trying to even help craft the speaking points of the president, right? To the extent where what do the people want to know about? Would that alleviate the question and answer period? Probably not. But let's speak to those issues. So as I'm listening to you all here tonight, I'm picking up points that we were feedback and I said, listen, these are what the people want to hear. Let's come up with something, and in your speech to our people, come up with these particular points, and so people understand. And hopefully that would address some issues that heart-burning issues and everything. But again, there's certain things we control and certain things we don't control. What we control is what we deal with.
Mr. Token, at this time,
I come in. You did not answer the portion that you talk about partners.
Yes, sir.
Are you talking about partners that involve county organizations heads and partners like other Liberian organizations on the ground, like the American group on the ground? I mean, I'm talking about the Liberian. Are those people within the scope of your partnership you're talking about?
So let me answer the question directly. We have partners, yes, Liberian organizations. If you say Americans are not uniquely Liberian, so we can discuss our issues like
no. I said
so
Liberian.
we're talking uniquely Liberian issues.
I come in now. There's a group called itself Liberian American Community of Rhode Island. These are Liberian. They honor this nomenclature. Are they part of the partnership you're speaking to?
Okay, let me speak to that. I met with their chairman recently, and their perspective on their perspective their structure is to look for Liberians who are American citizens and deal with and work with them. Right? That was what he mentioned. So if the Liberians who are American citizens and they're going in that direction, of course that's where they're going to go. Do they have stakes in Liberia? Of course they do. We're not going to craft their mission and their vision and their purpose for them. Right?
Yes.
We're continue to work for the Liberians here in Rhode Island, and by extension, Liberians back home in Liberia by extension. We're not going to craft their mission and the vision for them, right? So if that's what they want, and Mr. Paulus told me they've graduated from the Liberian, scene and setting, they've already taken on a whole different, perspective, if you will. So that's what they're doing. So it's not our position to go and say, oh, listen, come here. We have the president of Liberia.
Okay.
They have no stake in
Can I
it.
get charming?
So they are dealing strictly with Liberian American citizens.
Yes.
What do
Yes,
they
sir.
need? What
Okay.
do they need?
Can I get charming a little bit, right?
Yeah.
He said something. This program, they don't own this program, and that's the problem our community in general have. When our leaders coming from Liberia, the president, whoever, the first organization they should contact should be the mother organization here. And then the mother organization can disseminate this information to the rest of the people. You're asking the guest on the show whether he has extended invitation or contacted all of the organization. These men were brought in by another sect or another group. The government did not contact this group here, the Liberian Association of Rhode Island, that President Bwaka was coming. He says that they got the information 3 days through another organization, which is the Washington organization. And that's the sad thing about our society.
No.
I think the president and the leaders
Point
when
of
it comes to
correction.
this.
Point of correction.
Point of correction, sir.
What a correction.
There's a serious collaboration going on. If we don't know, it's not like someone contacting them. This is a serious and consolidated collaboration moving with the JBM movement. So when you start using things like moral organization,
Right.
so I don't see democracy in there. They're not.
So what I'm trying to say, Mr. Bacon, Mr. Jones, Malin Jones, what I'm trying to say here is Joseph Bwaka, any president for that matter, is the president of Liberia, all Liberian, regardless you're American Liberian, you Geo Liberian, Pele Liberian, whatever Liberian you are he is the president of the country, any president.
Okay.
So we got a mother organization in these United States called YOLA. And if you go into a particular state, we also have a Liberian association in that state that they can say, okay, we're coming to the state of New Jersey. The Liberian Association will champion or will spearhead this program, and the Liberian Association will contact other Liberian organizations within that state. That'll be a Liberian thing, not a group of people, and then you start connecting the dot. No, if you do that, it will not be something now that people will come from all over to want to be part of. Let's take away these small sects, groups, and make the thing. Yes.
Are you concluding that Kemelatro is undermining Eula status?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just said yes. That's not what I'm saying. I
Hold
just
on
said
one
yes.
second. Guys, let's get a baseline here. Thank you, Kemelatro, and I see where you're coming from, and we can expand on that. But let's give you the opportunity to respond.
Okay, let me respond to that. Maybe I misspoke. When I said we were informed, we were there and we got informed by the government of Liberia that the president was coming. We were able to help them and sit down and actually craft the itinerary. We would meet here, and do all the. What I mean, we don't own the program. It's the president of the Republic of Liberia. We're a nonprofit organization. It's protocol heavy, right? We only can provide the space and the information that within the confines of the itinerary. We can afford you the opportunity to meet this people. If the protocol decides they want to waver on it or make an adjustment, that's on them. We're the head organization here in Rhode Island, so we spearheaded here. But as much as we do, we have to understand and be cognizant of the fact that we're only conduits of the program of the people, right? And more importantly, that the protocol people own the program overall, because they're the Republic of Liberia. That's what I meant.
Okay,
Let me
thank
just
you.
come in real quickly from experience over our short time in office. And first of all, let me assure Dr. Jones-Malley here that there's no nepotism being practiced in Yola. He did allude to Yola being the epicenter of power struggle. And there is a certain amount of truth to that. Our coming into office was attended by a certain bit of acrimony, but I think we've surmounted that. Right now, our Foreign Minister Stephen Bina was on the other ticket during the September 16th elections, who is now our Foreign Minister. Bati Toba, who was the chair of the Elections Commission, is also now working with me and others on the Elections Review Committee. So we're doing the best we can to broaden the participation in government. But I said to my brother Latrobe, we will talk behind the scenes, but the point that Dr. Jones is making is also worth considering. For instance, the president was in Georgia not too long ago. Usually when it comes in, the local chapter hosts the president. And it is the local chapter that coordinates the president's schedule as to how they meet with Liberians on the ground. So they reach out to Yola and say, look, the president will be, even though they themselves, they got a heads up in a matter of days, not even weeks. But however, they will reach out and say, this is our part of the schedule. This is where you come in, and this is when you get to meet with the president. And then we all collaborate with that local chapter. But they're right. I'm hoping that you guys are on your way to reaching out to us. But yes, they're right. We should be collaborating together. We might ask you to even represent us as a chapter on the ground. But notwithstanding, the president's local schedule is formulated and controlled by the local chapter. They give it to the protocol people, and they fit it into the president's schedule. That's how it happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. So are you saying the protocol have been the protocol were not done properly?
Which one? The one in Georgia? No, actually, no. I am saying history tells us that this is how it happened. The protocol in Georgia, we met with the president twice in Georgia. I think in March or so, we took a whole delegation there that time. Was it in March or April? We met with him, and the president is very gracious. He always makes time to meet Liberians. He actually met us in a separate room before we went into the bigger meeting. This gone, I think, week or two or so, he was in Georgia again to address the Black Business Forum, and they alerted us. So we asked the Georgia team to represent us, and they did meet with the president. Also said he made time to meet with them. So that's what I'm saying. So usually when the president comes in, the local chapter controls what happens on the ground relative to how the president's schedule is laid out. Then, of course, they collaborate with the protocol people from the executive mansion, and it all flows out very smoothly. That's what I'm saying.
And that's exactly what happened, sir. That's exactly what happened. So we crafted all the meetings and everything, and we funneled the information to them. So that's what they're doing. Exactly. But again, from my perspective, being able to control it, the protocol people can always shift. So that's what we're saying. We're just conduits of the program.
So, Mr. Nangme, can I say something? Can I recommend that, you guys, like what Mr. So said from the beginning of the show, put in at least if the 7% or 10% or 5 persons, that there be a time for question and answering period to give Liberians the opportunity to engage with the president. There maybe the questions could be monitored. The questions could be, like the people can be selected, but but at least to me, I think it would be good to have at least about 5 or 7 questions from the Liberian people so they can feel part of the process that they interacted with the president. That is just a recommendation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So one of the things that have been thrown around is the fact that I mentioned before, when the president came in as vice president and we had a town hall for him, we had people actually write their questions. And everyone wrote their questions. The questions was handpicked by someone in the audience. And because we don't want to, again, select a certain people and be like, if people say, oh, guess what? They know these people. That's why they selected them. No, we're trying to avoid that entire situation. We will consider that recommendation and put it in the program. And if time permits, of course, based on our structure of the program and the formation of the program, we will certainly recommend and allow that to happen.
Let me just come in here. I don't like to give politicians credit, Jared, but sometimes where the credit due, you give it. Like the folks, almost like maybe more than 1 month, 2 months ago, they reached out. And we said, this thing is all about trust with holding information. And that is very, very vital. When people tell you something, this is what I want you to do, but I want you to hold on until at such a time. That it must be respected, especially when it comes to this. They reach out and say, hey, we want LPR to be part of this. However, sometimes protocol change, even though this is a date, but we have to wait. You never know. Sometimes, activities, protocol change and stuff like that. But up to the point, they still kept to their word and will be part of the process. And we also made it clear, we hope if they can fit us in that, even because this is a big event, and perhaps the community leadership and those that even, who are friends to the president. I mean, they have been there. There's no way that you can reach these people. They made a political sacrifice and they will still have to be there. That they can even make room as well. That if it doesn't even happen this time, in subsequent time, that's not the end of the world. And I think this is what the Liberian community, Chairman Latro and other folks, we should push. But it's on us as a people, because everybody protecting their own alligator around here. So it's a difficult thing in a strong, volatile, area. But I think it would be good, not just only the president. We have our lawmakers, ministers, they come here and they just want to meet with their partisans. This being ongoing. We saw that in the last time around. You will just see them by the time you go look on a few people picture, you will just see the sitting down having next time. That is just not good for the country. If you're a minister of government and you travel, if it is a private something, whatever, it's different. But I mean, for God's sake, take time and whatever you start, they are Liberian-based organization. Interact with them. It shouldn't be segmented in such that, this group that CDC group, these are Unity Party group, friends of this, that, and so that kind of group. I think that's where Keto was coming from. But I wish you have. I made this point too during the days of George.
That man is not independent.
To be fair with the like I said, I was notified. I can't remember telling any of the team members, because things could change. Because it was almost like a month plus ago, they said this is what's going to happen. We just let you know so that you can make provision. I said, I would be glad. Even whatever day, I will take that day off. Because part of that is a one-time opportunity. I don't want to be judgmental into what the president's agenda or what they're doing. I like to face the ball and have the conversation. Giving you the credit doesn't mean you come and put up, you're going to run with it now and say, this is, no, that's not it. Until it happens, and I would know. Go ahead, Joe Baco.
Yeah, Mr. Collins, we still have ample time to work on all these things, all the suggestions you are making. All these things will be discussed with the Liberian community as well as the other organizations that are in the town. So we are working on everything. Everything is not in stone yet, because we have to work in conjunction with the people in Liberia. They also dictate to us, what they want to do, and we also make our recommendation to see where the gap is. Then we can work together and say, okay, this is what we can work with. So all your suggestions you're making is under consideration with what we think about this thing, and and make it. We are not guaranteeing and say it's going to happen, like the chairman said, but it's still on the work in progress.
There you go. I guarantee you.
Listen, I have to agree. I have to agree here, and we say that even to this current government and the one before it. Whenever you brought in the participation, it's a good day. It's a good thing for Liberia. I think it's a mistake to come into government as a CDC government or a UP government or whatever. I think the objective should be to tap the brightest and the best to come into your government, because when they come in, they make you look good, your government succeeds, and Liberia wins. So yeah, I will encourage our leaders, cast the net as far and as wide as possible, and bring in as competent as Liberians as you can find to come and work and help you out. Because yes, we know people go into the trenches during the campaign, they fight and bring you to power. I get that, and you have to cater to them. I get that too. But you also have a country to run. And we can see that playing out today with all of these squabbles and all of these false starts and all of these reversals and all of these mishaps that are happening right now in this government. I think part of it is because the net is not being cast as far and wide as possible. And I hope they're working on it. Because nobody is more Liberian than any Liberian. Not the UP partisan, not the sedition, not the People's Party, not the CPP or whatever. We're all Liberians. And I think all of us want the best for Liberia. Right. So yes, it will benefit any government when they tap into the best and the brightest, whether in Liberia or here in the diaspora. The objective should be to bring in the best to help build up the country. So yes, I think every government should seek to broaden the participation of Liberians in that government to help the government do better or do well.
Okay. Before Chairman Latro go, I want to thank him so much. And again, please share this information. And I told the boycott folks, I say, hey, it will be to your advantage. Even after that, this is a big event. Do the unexpected. Let the president appear, not even on the LPR. You're going to have, in every society, there are silly people there who will ask silly questions. That is okay. Let them get it out of their chest. But guess what? It is unexpected. People see the different side of you. But unfortunately, our politicians, they want to go to their people. The person is, I know it's not an election time, but they will break, election will come. So it is the time to start paving the way now. You don't waste time with somebody who is already for you. I say, hey, we are offered to that. Everybody not going to be here. You might not go to every, state, no time. You're busy. There are priorities set. But he can even play one of these funny network where people don't expect him to go and spend 30 minutes. 2%, 3% ask question. If you ask a silly question, if on you have the opportunity to ask your president and you ask upside down question, you will better wait, and let's see how it happens. And we want to, and hopefully when you meet the president to also have this sort of conversation, not just only him. Government is not just only the executive, it is the three branches of government. Ministers, the judiciary, the first branch, these people come here and they can't get, you just see them to sometime party and that's it. They say they can't rest. Okay, we can't rest, but is that did you come at the expense of the government? Find time, tell them meetings. These people, they do that. They respect media. But we also aware that the country is polarized. But for God's sake, when it comes, let them make provision. But I want to give it up to Bacon. Giving it up to you, Chairman Bacon, your folks, it doesn't mean you're going to be a son on this network moving forward. Because we got to wait until it happens. But again, by reaching out to let us know, for us to participate in itself, I think that's huge. Their cheerleader, Fatima, right here. So I think that is good. Chairman, what's your final word? And don't hesitate to please share whatever information that you think with respect to this event that needs to go out. Just I'll send you a message inbox and just look at it. Don't hesitate to share that, and we will, we'll be willing to do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I just wanted to say again, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to actually come here and talk about not only the president visit, but what we do as a Liberian Community Association, and by extension, ULI and other organizations that work for the Liberian people. It's a pleasure meeting all of you, Mr. Collins, my friend and brother, Jones Malley, Mr. Nagri, we met before, and at that program, Jerry, Mr. Barker, of course, I know Alfonso. Again, I just want to say thank you, and I hope and that all the points we actually made here would be taken into consideration on a larger scale to not only assist us here, but also in Liberia. My brother Collins mentioned about being here. I mean, our operations here in the U.S. and it's seemingly not with the extension to Liberia. I think if we develop ourselves here, we're more capable and able to help our people in Liberia. So that's what we do. We're Liberian Community Association of Rhode Island, and I think EULA's formation and structure is predominantly that. And so as we continue to have our working relationship with EULA, that's something that they can take on, and we can help support their mission and their vision in so many different ways. But again, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to come and expound on these different issues. We will be looking forward to the invitation to come back again. We will provide further information as time gets closer. I will send you a copy of the press release and the flyer once I get off, as soon as I get off, so you can publish it as well. And then we'll make sure we get it done. I would take full responsibility of it. I think Mr. Nangwe mentioned it about reaching out to EULA. I got information that was already done. Apparently not to that extent. So I will reach out and kind of get close the loop on that as well. And I hope we can work around it. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to sit here and discuss. And it was a wonderful evening. I can't say thank you enough. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, Chairman Tutu, thank you so much. All right. Okay. The carrot on the gas go down and the carrot here on the Jerry, don't go your, you don't go. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Victor Nangwe. Look, but I think it's a good start. Hopefully it continues. And like I said, the friends of the boycott movement, reaching out to the media, that is a good start. Whether our agreement, disagreement on the political scene is a different thing, but they understand the fact that it's about countries, so that these national issues can be discussed, and it must just be done in the civil context. I think that is very vital into this. Nobody going to disrespect the president. We just want to put to rest all of these apprehensions, things that we hear people say, the makeup, they entice people to see what is happening. But Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
When it changed in mind, you came very so strong, which of course, that's how the independent, that's how they move along. So Terry, I got to force Terry to talk here tonight, which is unusual. Terry is a blast on this network, but tonight Terry colluded with Gerald Washington, and he said, "You know what? We're not saying anything." But that's okay.
Mr. So they are setting terrain. When you bring a guest like that, and the guest is bringing the president to Rhode Island for LPR to engage him directly, and take control of the program, I can't go deep because I want the president to come. I can't be critical.
CEO, what Mr. Collins needs to know here is that the platform is not big. The platform has got a very strong.
I will see how you enter
your uncle. You want.
I will see how you enter.
You see, the problem here is that, you see, EULA, people are member of EULA, and EULA say not in charge. There's a problem somewhere. Small organizations are in charge, you see, because apart from the power struggle, even though Mr. Victor said it has subsided, okay, that's good news. But it seems to be EULA now is an institution preparing political leaders for employment in Liberia. You're looking at this one of the central core of EULA right now. Kesali is there after all the noise. He began to invite the VP aide when he was VP. Now he's deputy in a state in at the executive mansion. So it's like we will have to really put our horse in order.
Let me fair.
Let me end. CEO, I gotta end. I know there are not too many entertaining.
You start fighting more yourself. The co-host and the host.
Yes, but we got to maintain our objectivity irrespective of what.
That's good.
Yola had not
That's
lived up to
of course. Now we're not like
Yeah.
you.
Yola had not lived up to expectation. One, for even uniting the various Liberian association around this country. Yola's central point has been power struggle and preparing candidates for employment in the political system in Liberia. That's Yola focus right there. All right. Yes, all of you may have participated in Yola. We've been following Yola activity from time to time. I got a lot of friends in there. But Yola had, to me, Yola had already failed. And there is no way us divided can do something in Liberia. Until we start the unity from here, we can work as a group in Liberia. It's not possible. Yola got a lot to offer. But Yola is focusing on a lot of irrelevant things, like seeking for power. You see?
So
And if you continue to focus on that, how will you bring, like, for instance, in my state, CEO is aware. I don't even want to even go into other area. There are a whole lot of division fighting here, this and that. These are things sometimes I expect Yola delegation to come, as a Welton Keto said, moral organization, come. But I don't know where you don't ever went to intervene when you don't is fighting among itself for power.
But Doug, you're raising allegations that you
So
don't.
yeah, so let me speak to
Don't
that.
say I'm raising allegation.
I think that
in that
he's making the
allegation,
point
I'm
over and
deeply
over.
associated with Yola.
Yeah.
I beg to leave. I gotta run.
Yeah, let me say that real quickly. Let me just come. And I know Wilton here is on the board. He will speak to Dr. Malley. I think the assertion you're making.
Mr. Nawe, 1 second. You want to make a statement before you go, Mr. Bacon?
Oh no, I just want to say thank you all for listening to us. We'll give you more detail as they make it available. The Rhode Island chapter will do all our best. The worker movement will disseminate any information we have in regard to it. If it's not, that's sensitive to that of the president's safety. So for that reason, we'll do all we can. Like I said, the Liberian Public Radio will be hosting it. It will be the hosting channel for the president duration that will be in Rhode Island. So we look forward.
Are you guys registered with the American government? Are you guys registered in the state? Yeah.
Oh,
so that's what I want to say. I will see you. I gotta run. That question I'll answer tomorrow. So let's meet anytime, okay?
Mr. Bacon.
Yeah, Mr. Bacon, I want to ask you. Did I hear you saying we are invited to your house?
Oh yeah, the house is open.
Because so I'm getting on plane tomorrow to come. So
yes, sir. The guest room is here. The guest room is here, Mr. The guest rooms are here.
So
I just
never saw you with that case.
I was not feeling too bad because it's like they get too many a chopping group running around America here, the Joseph Baka movement. I was just asking whether you legitimately register with the people, with the government of Rhode Island. I was just asking you because I've been invited many times. And some of them are just a suitcase group moving around. They're not registered with the government.
We've been existing now for almost 2 decades. So
yes, sir. What I'm saying, I never saw you with that shit. So I hope when the time comes, don't go put on dark shades and act like you sometimes FBI agent.
Mr. So, I'm a trained FBI agent. I'm a trained man.
So,
I'm trained by the FBI.
I know, Mr. So I know the show is about to go, and I myself have so many turning, But let me just say something to Mr. Jones. Let me just say something to Mr. Jones. Yola of yesteryears is not the Yola of today. The new administration, the UN administration, national administration is doing all they can to change the status quo. And it's important that all hands on deck, Liberians get together and make this thing work for us. It's important. I myself, I have the same view you had about Yola back in the days. People use Yola as a springboard to secure government position in Liberia, and that was not fair. Yola, the history of Yola is not too good for me. I felt that too, but I like what Mr. Nangwe, or I talk about Nathan Nangwe said, to change something, you have to be part of it. And then where we are today, we are working and making sure that those things that brought not so good to our community, we are trying to change it. And I like that Mr. Nangwe, Victor Nangwe, is on this thing too for Diaspora Affairs to have to coordinate and disseminate information, bring our people together and making them understand that we have to keep this union together. It's important because for Liberia to survive, it has to come from here. For Liberia to move to the next level that we want Liberia, it has to come from here. Because what we see in our country is so bad. So yes, things happen in the past. You cannot continue to bring. We got to work around it and do what we got to do. All of you guys, your expertise, we need it. Mr. Bacon, you have to come on. Mr. Bacon, Mr. Jones, or Dr. Jones, you have to come on board. You have to bring your expertise, and things that happen in the past already happened. We have to move forward. I'm not a corrupt person. I guess Mr. Victor Nangwe is not a corrupt person. He comes here with integrity, and Terry can come on board. Mr. Zion also. We have Victor, Nathan Victor on the platform just now, a very articulate individual.
Come on board where?
You come on board as the media arm of Yola, disseminating all the information and helping to change the narrative. Yola never had a good media. Yes.
I served Yola in the past.
No, I'm talking about to using this platform. Like you want Raw Island to use the platform.
We're always open to anybody,
Because the lack of knowledge, our people perish, and is fair. We have to extend enough education to our people as much as possible. So thank you, Mr. Victor. I will be contacting you, man. I know you in a WhatsApp group.
You on a board? You on board?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm on the board. I'm the chairman for Liberian Affairs, the oversight committee for Liberian Affairs.
Where are the committee? Liberian Affairs on what?
Like oversight committee on Liberian Affairs. So I will oversee all of the. I'm here to check on all of the things that are involved with Liberia, with ball landing Liberia. I don't know how that land was project. I will be checking on Rhode Island team to see how Jabaka coming to America. What are you coming as a watching?
You want to talk about Liberia Affair?
Yeah.
I want to see what how to bring it our president.
You were appointed or elected?
It's an appointed position. I was elected on the board, but it's the appointed position within the board.
So you occupying two positions?
No. I was appointed for my community. I mean, I was elected by my community to be on Yola board, but within Yola, the board of Yola, they have these.
No, but I'm trying to understand when you say Liberian Affairs, what is the role of your committee? Liberian Affairs on what? Checking on Liberian people, who is Liberian, who is not Liberian? So what's
we checking on you? Want to know where you get your Alfonso's one soul new from? Oh, we're checking on you.
The man is a security agent. No, better so.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about all over Liberian Affairs. You don't like to clear position in position. That's how when you're going government. You don't get this assistant minister to assistant minister, special assistant to special.
So the board primarily is comprised of representatives from the chapters, the various chapters. I'm sure he came on the board through his chapter, but I think if he's done, Dr. Mali is not here. The board member has spoken very succinctly and very clearly to what I also wanted to say. The narrative that Dr. Mali and others, are expressing, there's some substance to it. We know in the past some of that happened, but there is a new day. We're moving forward. As a matter of fact, I think 3 governments now before this government. I've had a leadership, collaborate with the government, and yet they're not in government. Vamba is succeeded. Wilmer Cooney is still here. Vamba is still here. Shehu Kamara, who is the immediate past president, he's still here. He's not in government. So yes, there are a number of past ULA officials who are in government, but that is not the objective. I think the objective here is advocacy for Liberians in diaspora. That's what we want to do, and we want all of us to come on board, bring your expertise, and help us make it work. And we're not claiming to have all of the answers. We urge you to come in and help us so that we can make it work. But we really think that although we're not in Liberia, but we actively participate in everything Liberian. A lot of us go back home, and even while we're here, we participate in activities back home. So we should be able to do that while we're here. It shouldn't only be when we are in Liberia, So we all need to help the country. So yes, we'll do the best we can. We're all sort of you to come on board and be the change that you want Yola to be.
So,
Help us
Mr.
drive the
Nagbe,
process.
now you are close with the authority. And I don't know what Keto he's telling me to come on board, or be on board. He served on the commission 4 years. We conducted 2 successful elections. I think maybe EULA needs to kind of like revisit some stuff. Perhaps maybe the administration might consider calling for all Liberian conference. All Liberian conference will entails all of these county organizations. I think there are a lot of barriers incorporating organization under the umbrella of EULA makes it difficult. So it means certain people feel their voice is not being heard. So then we end up finding alternative. Even though they will still have these sort of county organizations, but when EULA figure out that these county organizations are incorporated, either some sort of ceremonial position, board member, or some kind of thing, subcommittee, it means there will be a sort of a general calendar that these organizations will most likely observe for EULA. And once you have someone to represent it from a particular group, bear in mind, those people will be, they will form part of EULA activity, say like the convention or board that is coming in. When people are left out and they feel that their voice is not being heard, they are not part of the process, they are not involved in decision making. So when they are not involved in decision making, absolutely they will not put in resources to make that organization work. So I think EULA maybe need to revisit, some stuff. Time has involved significantly. I got to figure out what are we not doing, why people are not coming. And like someone were talking, the information dissemination aspect. All people know about EULA. Job. I don't agree with Mali, what he's saying. Who doesn't need job? The reason people take SAR is to be accommodated. I need job. You need job. Anybody who doesn't need job, then I don't know how you want to sustain yourself. And we must know EULA more or less is sort of political movement that advocates for different reasons. But I think they need to need to have a conference and let them accommodate other suggestions and see how those suggestions can fit in to make EULA more or less as a vibrant organization, because other people feel there are certain people feel entitlement to that EULA. So for this reason, people who are not there, they sit back and why say, well, let them go ahead. I mean, that's my view. That's my opinion.
I think that's a great point. That's certain that's something we were taking into consideration. I'll tell you this. This current government lost about 5 months into its tenure, all locked up in the court battle that Dr. Jones was referencing. We lost 5 months in court. Like I said, our coming into office, we had some unfortunate interventions, and so the convention of September 16th did not happen. That was disrupted. It was all in the media, and then we tried on March 2nd, and we finally had elections. The other team challenged the result, and so we ended up in court. So all of that took time away from us. Right after that, we had to start getting ready for these 3 events that I just told you about, and they require a little bit of, quite a good amount of planning and coordination. So, but yes, hopefully our second year coming, we'll have the time to do most of what you're suggesting. Yes, We feel Yola right now is suffering a trust deficit that we have to build. And to do that, we have to open up our arms and welcome all Liberians on board. So we have to find a way to reach all Liberians and let everyone feel a part of Yola. So absolutely, your point is well taken.
And I think it was Terry. The public relations aspect, it has to be enhanced in different forms and shape, not just only within the corridor of those in the beltway of ULAT. We got to do things differently. If you be doing it, if it's not working, then you deploy different tactics. What am I doing not correct that people can get? But I think we'll see what happens.
So people change. People are the one who make things to change. Things do not change by itself.
No.
People change things. People make things change. So once there are new faces, let's see what they're going to do. Let's give them the opportunity to prove themselves. Let's give them the opportunity to make the change that they say they can. But we can't give up on the institution. It's a very good idea to go back and redo it. There's always a chance to redo it again, and for me, I think that's the best thing. Keto is on course tonight on that one. I give it to him. Go back, make a change. Maybe you are the one that Yola been waiting for. You never know. So we one man can make a difference. And that is why I was saying here earlier on, I believe that we are the ones Liberia is waiting for. If we don't make that change, we're thinking that Liberia is waiting for this mighty hand from God that is just going to move with a wild wind, like how Moses removed the sea and thing. God have given you the ability.
I feel a sermon coming on, or what? The pastor is in the house.
Yeah, the reverend got to be.
Political pastor.
But what I'm saying is that we are the one to make that impact in our country. God have given us the ability to do it. God is not coming from anywhere to do it. We are the one to do it. So if Yola have this particular thing going, they had a bad time. We all know the informations are all out there fighting, and all that power struggle is true. Dr. Toto, we just need to look at the new people that have come in and give them give them the opportunity and see what they're going to do. But if Liberians do not straighten up their mindset to make up their mind, to make the change, and be thinking all the time that somebody else is going to come to make it, we will never be able to be successful both in America and in Liberia. In fact, if we are not successful here, we will not be successful in Liberia. That's the reason why the people in Liberia are afraid of us. You know why they are afraid of us? Because they know that we are the one they are waiting for. That's why they're afraid of us. And we too, we get afraid of them. And when we get afraid of them, we stay away. And that is the danger. We make complaint, the people. But guess what? Most of the people now that in Liberia that are making the change came from the diaspora. So that means they can't stop us. And the reason they can is because they know we are the one they're waiting for. So we got to take it. We got to go there and take it. And that is what I think, Mr. So. Thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. Great show. Thank you guys very much.
Well, you start spending some good money, man, to enhance your messages.
Well, that's the other thing. We will get to that. We came into office with over $25,000 budget deficit, but it takes money to bring money, right? So we're trying to work.
You get money because then you do all of the fixes, Yeah. But so we are still looking up the committee and we can schedule something,
Okay.
This is open, but thank you so much.
You too, man. Take care.
All right. Okay, so folks, that does it this evening. We went over the time, 32 minutes. Well, this part of the community engagement. But we are excited that the president going to be coming here, and we hope it's not just only going to be to Rhode Island, President Chairman Otro. Thank you so much for what you do, and even the community, and that of the movement for the boycott folks for reaching out. That's what we want to see happening. And hopefully we can, have other conversations, not just only that one-time event. The president can spend 30 minutes, whatever it is, and let the people hear from them. I think politically that is good. And We are hoping everything goes well. We're doing everything possible we can, preparing to live stream that event. Senator Jaggery is one who has championed the cause of Liberia, not just on the Rural Islanders, but Liberians everywhere. And Senator Shadow Whitehouse. So it's going to be a great event. We will work with the committees. As long as they share this information with us, we'll publish it, we'll get it out to you. Any information they have, once they get it to us, we will get that going. Until then, folks, every good thing must come to an end. I want to thank you so much. Tomorrow, hopefully, John, the Liberal Progressive, come and watch tomorrow and see Jerry Bacon and the Liberal Progressive, how they're going to do their own stuff. Well, thank you so much. And Dr. Toto, good to have you here tonight. Hopefully, you're going to be making some time to come. And we never had enough time to discuss other national issues, but by God's willing, Friday we'll be here and have more conversations. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
I hear where you live, I get some water when it's water. Oh, no, yeah. I want you want anybody on. What the fear? You say my dirty fear. I'm what did I get what? Dirty fear. I hear what you do, take my get some water when it's water. Oh, I'm a my what you I